Hello everybody, it's Crazy Logics 007 on YouTube, Crazy Logics in the forum, and everybody else just calls me Damon. We have a PPI, a Precision Power Class PC1800.2. It's a pretty good size amp. It barely fits on my camera view. It's kind of got my bench screwed up there. And I peeked at it. I know it's at least got a blown power supply. So first things first, that's got to get fixed. So one of the big things with PPI amps back in the art series, these power class, everything like that, is these covers. I'm grabbing tools here. Sorry, I kind of got most of them stuck in a toolbox. Been running around looking at dead amps and not dead amps and stuff, trying to find a couple cool ones for videos and stuff. I've got a bunch of stuff for videos, so as we pull this off, I'll blather a little bit here. Got a crap ton of cool videos, old school, new stuff. Working on a deal to get some really cool amps that are modern that I think some people are going to want to see. Hopefully they are repairable. If not, I'm going to cry, but I got game systems. I finally got a handful of game systems to work on and stuff, and try to make some videos and for me to learn on. Got a few MacBooks and stuff, and some tablets. I really just love repairing electronics. And I really like the power supply stuff. There's just so many electronics out there that need repair, and stuff that gets outdated and gets obsoleted but still needs to be in function. You know, there's a guy I watch, Mr. Carlson's Lab. He's up in Canada, and I know he made really good money. I think he may even be independent and doing it. Don't quote me on that, but fixing a switching power supply that was for an obsolete CNC machine, and it was the company needed it, but couldn't afford to really replace it because they only needed it so rarely, so it wasn't worth them investing in a new large machine to do this special stuff every now and then. So they just needed to keep it fixed, and couldn't get that power supply style anymore to work with all the stuff it did, so he fixed it, blah blah blah. You know, there's important things that out there even that need to be fixed. So that's what I like doing, fixing stuff, electronic stuff, especially power supplies are kind of fun, and I've learned a lot thanks to the PlayStations and Xboxes about more modern power supplies with power factor correction and synchronous rectification and stuff like that. So blah blah blah, I know I'm wordy. So here's the thing with the PPIs, like I said, the old art series and stuff like that. This bottom cover actually has all these little fins on it, you see, and those fins are slightly sprung, and they are what hold the FETs down onto the thermal to keep them cool to the heatsink. Okay, and so when you work on an amp like this, you have to remember that now the FETs are not pressed well against the heatsink, and because of the bias settings and stuff, it could easily run away, overheat, and blow your output section if your output section didn't run. Now, thankfully, this does use a switching power supply, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see, is this? Let me grab my. Watch out for bald head here. Yep. So here's the switching power supply controller. This one's an SG3525. So it's like the TL494, TL54 or 594. Blah, God, I can't speak tonight. And the 7500 and stuff. It's just a switching power supply controller. It's going to switch this power supply. Looks like we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 12 FETs here, and I don't think we should have 2 sets of power. No, that does not look like power. So this looks more like filtering. Small amount. So this probably raises the voltage way up. This is probably filtering. Don't quote me on that. I'm not an expert on PPIs, and as I go, we may learn different. And if I do learn different, I'll let you know. But then we have, these are rectifiers, so they're going to do the rectification. These are some FETs. Same with those, and I'm going to assume, let's assume for now, that these are probably making the plus and minus 15 volts for the audio section over here that's needed for the opt amps and stuff. Here's all our outputs. We got TIP 36s and 35s, which that's not a big deal to replace. I can still get those. These are probably the main drive transistors for each bank of these. So this is the up and down and up and down, up and down, up and down to pull these up and down. There's a spider. Oh, he kind of seemed like he was alive. There, well, he's not alive anymore. So anyway, like I said, you have to be careful if the outputs are still going to be in the amp. If these aren't blown, you can run away. Now, I have somewhere a strip of L-channel aluminum, just, you know, L-shaped aluminum that I bought, and it's, you know, it's fairly long. And I bought it specifically to cut in half and drill a hole in it to match up with these holes right there, or maybe to go the whole way. I'm not sure. I got to find that piece of aluminum. I'll do that off camera, but what I would do is just take that L channel, cut it in two. Even if I only have it come across these outputs here, I may need them to go across this. But where we can get it bolted down, it'd be great if I could get two pieces out of it and they'd go these 3 bolt holes. But what you can do is you can put that on there, you can have that there, and put a couple of Allen keys in it to press that part down to make sure the outputs are fine while you're testing it up with the bottom cover off. So that's just something to remember. We can see right here, and I don't think, I did not set up for close-ups, and everybody's going to have to bear with me. I've been, all my spare money, you know, stuff I got for Christmas, everything else, I spent it on tools, that kind of stuff. You know, I had a choice. Do I make high quality videos with crappy, you know, not all the right tools, having to do everything with solder bulbs and desolder pumps and stuff like that, or do I invest some money in good tools so that I can do what I needed? And I really needed a better soldering iron with a little more capability. I needed a desoldering iron to make life a little easier and to do a few other things, and so I did that. I will be fixing up my rig. You know, these are just webcams. I'd like to get a decent microphone and a good HD cam that's zoomable up above, so I can have it very easy, give me wide shots here, and then zoom down in when we're working on a section of the board, and some kind of good little fabricate some kind of good tray that I can move it around a little bit. And then one other tool, plus it would help with video recordings, is a microscope. When I've been working on a bunch of other smaller stuff, I've been really struggling because I have to peer through these at little bitty components and hold it on, you know, squint my eye around it to hold it and solder, and so that makes it tough on little stuff. But anyway, I blathered enough. We definitely know that this is blown over here. We can see where it's blown. I can bring that up. See, you can see all the charring there and the resistors and stuff. So something I did notice, and I gotta find here my spectacles so I can make sure I point it out right. So this side looks okay, might be okay. I'm going to test it. If you want to know how to test the FETs, you go leg to leg with your multimeter. I've done that in a lot of my other videos. So that's something to leave in the comments. If you want to see me do every drop of every test and explain it every time I do an amp repair, tell me in the comments. If you would rather watch several videos so you can learn a whole bunch about stuff and maybe have to reference back to some of my earlier videos to see, you know, just some normal testing and stuff, and you'd rather me get to the meat and guts of the repair and stuff, let me know. I'll probably when I go to working on this and doing all this, it'll be all fast forwarded. Won't be talking. We'll just get all this stuff out, and I'll come in with little blurps or a voiceover to explain some stuff. But something I noticed was on these drivers. I can hold this up here and get the camera to focus. I don't know why it's wanting to put a line. So those two little drivers, which is the same as these over here, and they're what takes the pulse width modulation from this chip, and this one of them will be an NPN and one will be a PNP, and they help. This chip can't drive this many FETs, so this chip is driving this pair. This is in a totem pole configuration. It's a setup of the PNP and the NPM, and I'll do a video just talking about how that's driven on a simpler, smaller amp. But so this pair will be turning on the gates for all these, and then this pair will be doing over here. And so one side should be a high side and one side should be a low side. It may be 3 and 3 here and 3 and 3 there for that, or it may be this 6 over here and that 6 over there. I don't know. These are IRF Z44s. I've got some of these. I don't know if I'm going to put those back in or if I'll see if I can upgrade it a little bit to 3205s. They survive a little better. But I can see over here that somebody's globbed some solder, or some solder is somehow melted out of the board. But from the looks of it, somebody's globbed these in, and when we get the board flipped over, I'll probably hold it up there and we'll see. You know, these two have a drawing on them. Underneath this transistor, these two transistors, you know, on the board, there's a D shape so that you know which way the transistors are supposed to set. Well, from the looks of it on this one, and like I said, I got my big fat bald head in the way. From the looks of it, those D's are like that on the board, but those transistors are here, and they're all goofy. So I wonder if these were blown because something got blown here and somebody stuck some in and didn't realize. I don't know. I'm going to assume these are still factory. Get down here and see. This is a C3198. C3198. So that's probably a 2A. Or sorry, a 2S. And this is an A06. A06. So this is going to be either an MP SA06 probably, and this 3198 would be a 2SC. This could also be maybe 2SA 06, or maybe a 3906. And then look at these other two. Pardon my fat head. See what maybe got stuck in there or didn't, if there's still anything legible. A1266. That sounds more right. And C3198. So it sounds to me like that one got replaced. That may be the original part numbers, but they're in backwards somehow. I do have one buddy that I might call that might be able to tell me, or send a message to, that might be able to tell me exactly what those are supposed to be. But That's how I do it. I'll write them down there that way, and the drawing on the board shows them that way, and that's what was in there. And we'll put our toroids here in the middle and power plug, and so that gets me going there. I'll inspect these, but the 6 IRF Z44s and 6 IRF Z44s. The resistor looks to be a brown, black brown, which is going to be 100. That's 10 with a times 10, 100 ohm resistors. Driving the gates. If we switch them to a 3205, if we go from this IRF, I know there's glare on there, and I can't really do nothing about it. My main overhead light that I used to really help me has a filter on it. The glare is actually coming from the fluorescent light that's above it, that's on the garage ceiling. So here we go, IRF Z44. If we go to a IRF Z, or not Z, sorry, an IRF 3205, you can see that, yeah. We will need 47 ohm gate resistors. So that shows that maybe I can shadow it a little. Somehow 3205 needs 47 ohm gate resistors. If we do that, so I'm going to go ahead and take this out. I'm going to inspect the back. I may unsolder all this stuff and everything and do some other checking. I got one capacitor I got to double check here real good. Just want to make sure. It kind of looks like the actual cap's installed a little crooked like this one is, and a couple of these others, so that may be giving me the illusion that that's swollen. I just want to make sure that none of these input caps are bad, and I may ask my buddy on it. But I'm going to get it out, get them all desoldered so we can stick it back down here. We can figure out how to fix this drive circuit, and get the board cleaned up. I'll show me cleaning the board, clean all this up. If I can rearrange my setup a little bit, I might get zoomed down in where I'm cleaning. I can't promise nothing. And we will then pull back and we'll check the drive signal coming out of here, which should be going to there. We'll get proper transistors here, make sure we got good drive signal there, and then I'll see what I'm going to do for the replacement of the power supply's FETs. When I did my preliminary check and seeing that was done, I kind of checked these and they didn't appear to be shorted, but that doesn't mean they're not got damage. So I may have to put this all in and put that clamp in, like I said. Of course, I may just pull these rectifiers, or I can pull the outputs. I really, on personal note, this is my personal opinion when I'm rebuilding it, I always like to leave the rectifiers in, and I would rather pull the outputs so that they can't overheat, because that allows me, if you pull the rectifiers, sometimes the voltages here that like the plus minus 15 are made from the higher voltage DC that is made by the power supply, depending on how high it is for this one. So we'll see. I may pull those just so we can test, and if so, I'll write down where they were, and this is the PPI 1800.2. It's the PC version, and like I said, we'll get it out of here, and when you see me recording next, it'll probably be fast forward, and I'll pop in with whatever I know, or I'll voice over if I find something and it's just short. And then leave in the comments how you like to see the amp repair. You want more explain, you want them long, you want to watch 100 videos to get one done because I need to explain it all, or if you just like to see parts of it, or if you just want to see how bad they're. Now that's the thing, I know a lot of people like this. Some people just like to see how bad something's destroyed and see it fixed and then see it play, and they could care less about all the little details. They just want to know that it's possible to fix something old, especially if they have something like that and that they know that they can have it fixed. So let me know down in the comments. Comment. Tell me what you'd like to see.